So the big player in the news this week has been Corey Lajoie, a former Spire driver now with Rick Ware Racing. Put out a pretty viral clip in an interview with Bob Pockrass earlier this week.
It's like there's some guys who are like, I'd rather win on a truck race than run 20 to 25th every week on Sundays. But to me, you seem more like, I want to race on Sundays. Do you know like why you have maybe a different outlook than others, or?
Yeah, because those guys that say they want to try to win, they win 1 or 2 truck races a year, and then they're lifelong truck guys, and they never get to race on Sunday. It's all about Sunday. I don't want to go run F3. I want to be a Formula One driver. Like that. That's just, I don't know why this media perception. Sure, do you want to go pump the ego up and hold a trophy on a Friday when there's 12 people in the grandstands? No. I want to compete against the best, because I feel like with every group that I've been, groups that I've built from the ground up, any given Sunday we can go contend for a win, whether it's a speedway, we can run top 10 any given week. So I can't also justify to my partners that have been invested in me to go down to the lower divisions, because they don't get return for their money. They want to bring their people to the big show, not to a Friday or Saturday show.
So those are comments from Corey Lajoie to Bob Pockrass after it was announced that Lajoie will drive part-time in the Cup Series this year in the Rick Ware Racing number 01 unchartered entry. They picked 01 because of the Stacking Pennies. It's worth 0.01. He'll also be an analyst with the Amazon Prime broadcast in the summer. News also came out in his Stacking Pennies podcast that he turned down the chance to drive the number 19 truck raced by Christian Eckes last year, going to be raced by Daniel Hemrick this year. And as he said he would rather race on Sundays instead of boosting his ego with a trophy in front of 12 fans in the stands. But as somebody without a win in the top 3 series, I kind of see it both ways, but wins do get you further in the sport than just running on Sundays.
This is maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If Corey Lajoie's goal was to become the heel of NASCAR, good on you, buddy. You accomplished that. To pass on the 19 truck, a truck that could win a championship this season, a truck that was one of the most dominant across the series last year, to run part-time in a Rick Ware car, and then to shit on the entire series, its fans, its teams, like that's just to sign away your racing career, in my opinion. Like Corey Lajoie will never get one of these top rides in the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series, in my opinions. And he's telling all the sponsors who week in and week out promote and help power that series that, hey, you're wasting your money down there. So look, we used to love Lajoie on this program, always with throwing darts on him at Atlanta, Daytona, but I don't like what he's become, and I'm done giving a shit what happens to him. Hopefully this is the last time we ever have to talk about him on the back road, because I will never be betting on him again. Rod, I know you over at the NASCAR betting or NASCAR gambling podcast, you guys have a lot of love for Corey Lajoie. Has that shifted a little bit in your mind?
Let's get it straight. Cody's got all the love for Corey Lajoie. His picture is always right there by him, so he could pull him up. Look, what Corey and I get it, right? The passion, the desire to want to compete at the highest level, I get that. But in baseball, sometimes guys get sent down to AAA because they just aren't. Yep. They don't have everything it takes to compete on a daily basis in the big leagues. So you have to go down there. You have to prove yourself again to come back up into the series. This whole thing is just, look, just go down there, kick everyone's ass in these 2 leagues and show everybody that, hey, listen, man, you guys messed up. I need to have a premium ride, instead of saying to you, no. I mean, again, maybe it's just because I've never risen to the like super highest elite level of anything I've ever been in other than this. Right. But I'm just saying, like, there's that need to go back down. Right. And if your ego gets in the way of you going back down and proving to the rest of NASCAR why they messed up, then I'm not on your side, because to me, all you're doing, you say you're not stroking your ego by going down there and winning trophies. Well, you're trying to stroke your ego by racing on Sundays in a car that's not going to get you a top 15 finish each week, and it's not going to prove to anybody that you deserve a better ride.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even able to race a full schedule anymore. He lost that opportunity. And the thing about Lajoie, too, a lot of the drivers who they rise their way through the ranks. They race a couple years in trucks or a couple years in Xfinity or both, and then they get to the Cup Series. With Corey Lajoie over his career, I'm pulling up his statistics here. In the Cup Series, he's been close to full-time every year since 2017, 272 career Cup starts. In the Xfinity Series, he's run 22 races over 4 years, And in the Truck Series, just 5 starts over 3 years, and 2 of them coming in the last 2 seasons. Lajoie was never a guy that was able to really develop racecraft in the lower series. He was never a guy that really learned how to win on a national level in NASCAR. So I understand he wants to race with the big boys, but it's become very clear that, I mean, like I said, you're not even in a full-time ride. You're part-time with a team that might be back down to the bottom as the biggest laughing stock in the Cup Series. You know, no insult to how they've done at times over the last couple of years, but they sold off another one of their charters and leased it to Roush to run Ryan Preece in the 60, and then it's just Cody Ware in their only full-time car. So for a guy like Lajoie, I do kind of understand what he's saying. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The F1 analogy, you do want to race at the top of the tops.
I'll add this. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh no, I was just going to say, I'll add that a career 25.6 average finish. That's not throwing up any big major, sign me vibes.
Right. The other point I was going to make was that we've seen a few drivers, they made it to Cup and then stepped down and then have made it back up. John Hunter Nemechek notably left Front Row Motorsports, went back down to trucks with KBM. He's back to Cup, but legacy is a long way away from competing in that 42 ride. Anthony Alfredo was full-time in that ride the next year, whether by choice or by circumstance, stepped down to Xfinity and has only been in lower quality rides every year.
Right.
It's definitely a big risk. We don't know if Daniel Hemrick is going to make it back to the Cup Series on a competitive level or not, stepping all the way back down to trucks. It's definitely a big risk to do that, and I don't know, like Lajoie would not have gotten a better truck ride than that 19, but that 19 is a pretty damn good truck ride, and maybe developing some of that racecraft could have helped him. But hey, stay in Cup as long as you can, get those part-time runs. Maybe he falls ass backwards into good finishes at the plate tracks if he gets lucky. But yeah, TK making a good point. How long does he even have left? I don't think he's capable of rising back up if he goes down. I don't think so either. He would have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it may have taken 5 wins in a round of 8, if not a championship 4 run, to get a decent Xfinity ride out of the trucks, just seeing what he's been able to do before. I know that Spire has really risen. He was kind of racing there in the doldrums of the Spire days when Go Fast 32, and that was garbage in the 83, I think, a long time ago. It just in pretty garbage rides too.
Right.
I just don't know that he's got the talent, which we've said before. He's likable. He's come close, but the dream may be over even if he's still in the Cup Series. You know what I mean?